Was Rick Grimes and the gang valid for what they did in the Outpost episode in season 6 of The Walking Dead? Now, my favorite TWD creator, Chick Grimes, posted this question on one of his videos, and the interesting thing for me was the comment section, what the fandom was saying, and they were low-key painting Rick to be the villain, but like on Negan's level. And no one is topping peak Negan. Not the governor, no one. And this all begins because Alexandria is running low on supplies and food, and they need a surplus. So they hit up Hilltop and they're like, yo, can you help us out? And they were like, nah, we have our own people, bro. And then they were like, hey, we can trade. And they were like, you don't have shit, bro. What do you have? And they're like, okay, we can help you out. The saviours, right? They're bothering you. So now they turn mercenary mode, right? So they can help them take out the saviours. But the problem was, from the get-go, I was like, this is a bad idea, simply because I don't think you should start a fight with people who you don't know how many their numbers, right? Because they're assuming, they were like, we don't know how many, the Hilltop told them, we don't know how many people that the saviours have. All we know is the outpost where we bring the deliverables, right? That's the only place we know. So they just assume that that's like the main headquarters, right? That was their first mistake, right? But it was a necessary risk. And the reason why people paint Rick as the villain was simply because they said that Rick started it. I'm gonna need you to rewind there, because Rick did not start it, okay? The saviours were the first strike. They hit first. When Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha are leading away the second half of the horde. Now, we know the first horde unfortunately broke away and went to Alexandria and, like, messed it up a bit, right? But when they were coming back from leading away the second horde successfully, open fire out of nowhere. Brrrra, the saviours, for no reason. They were just minding their own business. Daryl was on his bike. They were in the truck, and they just open fired. They encountered them, and then again, the biker gang that stopped them. The one that Daryl, being the OG that he is, just with a grenade. What was it? Was it a rocket launcher? Whatever. And then just blew them up, right? They hit first. And the thing was, even if they didn't attack the outpost, they were going to find Alexandria and do the same thing to them in any case, right? So it's one thing if they were like, we're just going to take from this innocent community because our people are hungry. So we're just going to come in and just take what we want. If they retaliate, we're going to put them down. The saviours were not innocent people. They were the ones enslaving and oppressing the innocent communities, right? So the execution may have been ruthless, because I mean, they did kill men in their sleep and stuff. Like, the act itself was certainly, I mean, you can have two sides of the argument here where it's morally great, because some people will be like, well, I mean, it was obvious, it was survival, it was necessary. Other people saying like, no, it was not, it was merciless. And then my thing is people ignoring the fact of who the saviours was and who Negan was and what they were doing to Hilltop and what they were doing to the kingdom, right? They didn't know the kingdom yet, I think. No, at that point they didn't. When they hit the, they didn't. They just knew the Hilltop. But, and they're not Oceanside at that point, but it was just they knew the Hilltop, again, and what they were doing, right? They were thugs, okay? So what saviours are is what exists now, today. You know, the thugs and the gangs that will go and extort local businesses and make them pay protection fees. That is what the saviours are, right? They say, yo, you're gonna give us 10% for protection fees. Protection from what? From us, so we don't mess up your shop, we don't cause you any problems. That's what they were doing, right? But the saviours were a lot worse, okay? Because Negan on jump was like, we're killing one just to send the message that we're not here to play, right? We're killing you one person just to send the message, just so it sinks in, and we're taking 50%. And it doesn't matter what happens if they are low on supplies themselves, if their crops fail, figure it out. So you see how that is untenable. 50% in the zombie apocalypse. There's no factories, there's no thing that you can just go and get. No, it's what the last of the vestiges that are left, right? So can you imagine? It couldn't be. So I say, for one, that, I mean, I would have, like I said, the Outpost thing, I wouldn't have agreed to it, because again, I don't think you should go in a fight with people who you don't know their numbers. But I do think, considering also they were desperate as well, it was kind of valid. Survival, right? So there was kind of valid, and it did work out in the short term because they did get their food and stuff like that, but now they had a bigger problem because now they were on Negan's radar, like, big time. And then it begs the question with desperation, you know, how far is too far, right? So when they were on their, like, mercenary mode, I mean, the only reason why they, like, went for it is because they knew that the saviours, they weren't good people, okay? If it was a thing where it was just an innocent thing, they wouldn't have went through with it. I don't think so. I believe not, that they wouldn't do that. But because the saviours what they were, and they already saw what they were doing, and they were on the receiving end already for no reason when they attacked Daryl and Abraham and Sasha, like I said. So putting into those factors into consideration,